hope this will not get striked. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. And yeah, this is good. Welcome to episode 24 of the Showerpodcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip. And first of all, a few disclaimers. I wasn't joking when I said that I hope this video doesn't get striked because of the topics that we're gonna discuss. And also at the same time, I want to, let's say, assure you that this will not be anything recording, or at least I hope not. But it's just something that, it was present in my mind and I wanted to share it, for my own good. Because even though I wanted to avoid a bit the topic, mostly, for the reasons that I will explain. But I kept on thinking about this and I was like, might be worth doing an episode about it. So let's say the topic is a bit of a mix. It connects a bit to one of the previous ones where I was talking about the bubbles. And specifically about how I was saying that in general within my life, I've always avoided, the bubble of politics. And it is still the case. But due to recent events, let's say that one of my other bubbles, the one around technology and IT, was infected by politics. And why is that? So now with especially with the Trump election, I don't know if you can call it the election. Either way, the day that he signed the deal, that he's for sure going to be the president. There were, from the outside, if you didn't know, it would have looked like not so normal because of the things that I saw, but quite, let's say, politics-oriented event. But if you looked at it from my perspective and from my IT bubble, it could have looked like an IT conference where you had very powerful CEOs discussing about the next trend in IT. Because you had you had Zuckerberg from Facebook, you had the CEO of Google, Amazon, CEO of oh my God, I'm missing now the word. The one of ChatGPT. My God. You know the product, but not the name. Well, this is my case now. And so many. And specifically also, of course, the one that maybe brought me to do this episode, Elon Musk. First of all, because again, of the stuff that he did on stage, I don't want to really get into that. If it was real, it was not. It goes a bit beyond the problem. Of course, he didn't, let's say that the thing is that he didn't need to be serious about what he did, the intention and let's say that in this kind of situations, the way that you communicate doesn't have to follow the standard principles of communication. You don't have to mean something to actually deliver a message. You don't have to be explicit to deliver a message. He was very explicit, and of course he did it also as a let's say he's not dumb. He knew what he was doing. He, let's say, had all the intentions and was able, let's say, to hide it the way that he wanted to. Also because, at least in the US, he owning X, he has a very big leverage on how, information is being spread. And through this, I want to really get, to the topic of today. And that being that sometimes the things that you think do not affect you and the things that you see so far from you, it's very fast for them to change. It's very fast for you to wake up one day and be like, you know what? All the things that I ignored and all the things that I thought I shouldn't and didn't have a need to care about, well, they are now part of my life. And why am I saying that? Because of all these IT companies and all these billionaires, getting so close to politics. It's not something that, happened yesterday. I'm not dumb and say, oh my God, finally all these people will these people decide how politics work, or how does, no, of course not. Like, it was always like this, like it's since ages, like since the beginning of time, there's always been a tight, let's say, connection between the two. You want to be friends with who's in power in order to be able to leverage their power to do the things that you want to do. Has always been the case and will probably always be the case. But the thing is that if you would have asked me 1 year ago, I would have not given it any thought, because if I had to look at the people of reference and, the things that I would consider and I would consider worthy of my time in terms of personalities and topics, nothing was tightly coupled, with politics. At least, again, in my perception. The reality, totally different, but my perception was that. And it's really this difference, between my perception and the reality of things, and how these kind of events should remind us that it is a bit pretentious to think that you'll be able to just ignore that kind of stuff. And I was pretentious, in the episode of The Bubble when I said, I will not have to care about these things. Because most of the time, it's not you that have to care. They will come without asking. So the problem is that you should always keep an eye. You shouldn't be invested. You shouldn't be really into that kind of thing. But if the situation arrives and you are put in a moment where, that thing is in front of me and I have to deal with it, there is a huge difference if you've been paying attention and you know what is happening, compared to you being completely lost and not knowing how to tackle that thing that, again, was not anymore a choice of yours, and you have to deal with it. And in general, in life, I do believe that, let's say, real luxury, from my point of view, comes from this. The moment that you are able to choose the topics, the problems, and the things that really matter to you, and are able to completely ignore all the others, whatever happens, that is the moment that you know that you are in a absolutely insanely, let's say, in a premium position and in a privileged one, because that is the trick. The trick is to just be able to ignore the stuff that you don't like, ignore the things that could be bothering you, but you have the option to ignore them, and just focus on the things that matter to you. Unfortunately, this is not the case for most people. It is, you could expand this on also other topics that really I don't want to get into, because I'm really not neither informed in the right way or have the competence to talk about this. But just if you think about war in general, whatever it is, the fact that it's far, on a day-to-day basis, of course, doesn't affect you. It's clear. But what if? And that's why you should always keep an eye and just not ignore stuff. That's maybe the point that I wanna give to you is, don't ignore what's happening around you just because you can. Once upon a time, once in a while, give it a look. Look around and try to think, okay, these things that are happening, what could be the consequences, Me looking around, knowing that so many people in power and with so much money are so close to politics, how could this drive, the things that are actually important? How will I be affected by that? It's not an easy answer, but that's the point. Asking yourself the right questions can make a huge difference, and sometimes that's just all it needs. So look around you and ask yourself, what is happening? This was episode 24 of the Shower Podcast. Thank you for listening, and see you at the next one.